Hello YouTubers, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Palitoy Dalek. Now this is the silver with blue hemispheres version. Now there was 3 versions in total. There was this one, and there was also a silver with black hemispheres, which is very rare. And there was also the red with black hemispheres, which is about just as common as this is. Even this, though, then again, Palitoy Daleks are somewhat of a rarity, because obviously these were made back in 1975, and they also have the title of being the first talking Dalek toy. Now, just to note, the plunger on this is wrong. This one I got off eBay, and the seller sent me the wrong plunger. They are going to be sending me the correct plunger in the post, so you know that could be at any point. So for now, ignore the plunger, but the rest of it is original. So let's take a look at the detail. Now the eye, it's very similar to, see, the Dapol ones. Now we've got almost the correct number of rings here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rings, so the same amount as the new series Daleks, though obviously it should be 5. Though the proportions of the eye are pretty good and pretty accurate, and for the first time ever on one of these, the eye actually has some articulation. Not a lot, it can move up and down literally this much, and that is it. But you know, we're getting there, we're slowly getting there. The dome lights have been just moulded on, but again, they do look slightly better. If I just extend the tripod, it won't extend, because this is the crappy one I'm using, but you can see there, it looks very nice. We still, though, the dome seems to again be a bit too flat. This seems to be with, you know, with the Palitoy ones and the Louis Marks ones. You know, right the way through until Dapol are sort of starting to get it right in the late 80s, but this was essentially, you know, the bog standard thing. Now, we've also got this section here, the ventilation, the mesh section, though there's no mesh in it, and it's a blue plastic. Now, on the Louis Marks ones, it makes sense because there was actually a bulb inside there that would flash, though this one, not really sure why, and it makes the pole that goes through this thing pretty obvious. Though I believe this was the first time we got a Dalek with the slacks on. Hooray, at last! A Dalek with the slacks on, so a lot, you know, more accurate. Although it does seem to be, the shoulder section does seem to be all crushed up into this one little section here, which does make it out of proportion. In fact, the bottom half and the top half seem, you know, like an almost different scale, and this bit in the middle just seems like it's sandwiched between the two, to be honest. Now, there is no articulation at the head, although this one does seem to wobble a bit. We've got the gun, which is larger than the Louis Marks ones, at least the reproduction ones that I have. And also, it's very long, very thick, but also, sorry about that banging, but the window cleaners are cleaning windows at the minute. You cannot put in the Louis Marks gungs or plungers into these holes. They do not fit because these ones are smaller. So that is an unfortunate thing. Now, for the first time ever as well, I believe, we have ball jointing plunger and gun. So hooray, that is a first. So we've got the skirt as well, which is just out of proportion again. This is probably the most similar thing to the Marks ones. We've got one big long section here at the front, which is incorrect. And then it's all one at the back. Now, technically, you could say this is accurate to Evil of the Daleks. You know, because that one's out, but really, this shouldn't be. It just looks wrong. Looks a bit weird and that. But again, it's kind of like retro thing. The paint, now on the hemispheres all around the sides, perfect, fine. But on every single one of these, the paint at the front just doesn't align. And this isn't just my one, this is every single Palitoy Dalek ever. And at the front and at the back, guaranteed. Now this thing takes 2 AA batteries in order for him to talk. Now, the way he talks, and the way a lot of toys talked back in the day, was inside this Dalek is a little record player, tiny little record player inside, and when you push the top, it pushes the record down, and it makes contact with the battery compartment, which makes the motor go round and spin the record round, with a tiny little needle going across this. I actually fix the motor in this one, and it did take quite a bit of fixing, but as you're about to hear, he does talk again. Unfortunately, the speech is random. I think he says 4 things. Now that bit there, how it's a bit discoloured, that is because there was a bit of grub and grit on the record. There was quite a bit of it, and I managed to clean most of it off, but unfortunately it still remains in that section, which is why it's a bit distorted. Alright, I think we've heard all the phrases now. So we've got, what are your orders? Exterminate, exterminate. You will obey. And attack, attack, attack. Yeah, not a lot of phrases. And also the voice. Yeah, the voice, not exactly... knocked over the camera. Not exactly exact in the slightest in any way possible, but in fact actually it sounds more like the voice, if you ever seen the War of the Daleks board game advertisement, it sounds quite a lot like whoever was doing the voice for that. But it doesn't sound like Peter Hawkins, it doesn't sound like Roy Skelton, it doesn't sound like anybody ever doing the Dalek voices, you know. But again, this was the first talking Dalek. Oh, and released alongside this one was actually a talking K9 as well. Now the talking K9 is even more harder to get than the Palitoy Dalek. Simply because probably Daleks were more popular, and also there was 3 variations, whereas the obviously only one, the K9. But it is a nice thing, and should you get one of these? Well, I really do like this thing. I mean, it is expensive. You are going to be paying a lot of money for these kind of things. This one wasn't working in that, but it was complete, but without box. This cost me £50 on eBay. Now usually they go for a working one. You can be prepared to be set back to being £80+ for a working one, and with a one complete in box in perfect condition, well, even more. Now if you do have one of these, or if you are getting one, do not be afraid to use it. The reason being, if you don't use it, then that motor is just going to cog up over time and you're not going to be able to use it. But anyway, that's it for this review. I'll see you in the next one.